The Benny Hill Show was one of the most recognizable comedy programs in television history, known for its fast-paced slapstick, musical interludes, and playful, often risque humor. Spanning several decades, it reached audiences across the world and turned its creator and star into an international icon. However, behind the laughter and global popularity, the show also became a focal point for growing cultural debate. As public attitudes toward comedy evolved, some of its most familiar sketches began to be reassessed under a more critical lens. Eventually, one controversial moment would symbolize a wider shift in entertainment values and contribute to the show's decline. Early life and background: Alfred Hawthorne Hill, known professionally as Benny Hill, was born in Southampton, England in 1924. He grew up in a working-class family with connections to both everyday labour and performance traditions. His grandfather had worked as a circus clown, an influence that subtly shaped Hill's later interest in physical comedy. Before entering entertainment, Hill worked a variety of jobs, including roles in retail, transport, and manual labour. These early experiences exposed him to different walks of life and helped him develop the observational humour that would later define his sketches. His early years reflected adaptability, persistence, and curiosity about performance. Military service and wartime experience. During the Second World War, Hill served in the British Army's engineering and mechanical divisions. He trained as a mechanic and later took on additional responsibilities such as driving and operating equipment. His service included deployment during key wartime operations in Europe, where he contributed to essential logistical and technical support roles. Later, he joined the Combined Services Entertainment Division, which provided performances for troops to boost morale. This period proved influential in shaping his comedic instincts, as he gained first-hand experience entertaining audiences under pressure. It also strengthened his timing, stage awareness, and ability to engage diverse crowds effectively. Early career in entertainment. After the war, Hill transitioned into entertainment through radio, which was one of the dominant media platforms of the time. His early appearances on variety programs helped him build recognition for his sharp timing and flexible performance style. Radio allowed him to experiment with voices, characters, and comedic sketches without visual constraints, strengthening his writing and improvisational skills. As his reputation grew, he began appearing in television specials where he combined music, sketch comedy, and physical humor. These early productions laid the foundation for his later success, helping him refine the comedic formula that would eventually define his television career. Rise of television success. Hill's move into television marked a turning point in his career. His show became known for its rapid editing, slapstick routines, and recurring comedic motifs. It gained widespread popularity not only in Britain, but also internationally, reaching audiences in multiple countries. His unique blend of visual comedy and universal humor allowed the show to cross language barriers easily. Hill himself became the central performer, often portraying multiple characters within the same episode. The program's structure, combining sketches with musical interludes and choreographed sequences, made it instantly recognizable and helped establish it as a major force in televised comedy. Style of comedy and performance. A defining feature of Hill's comedy was its reliance on physical humor, exaggeration, and parody. He frequently played characters ranging from bumbling everyday figures to exaggerated authority types, using facial expressions and body language to enhance the humor. The show often relied on quick visual gags rather than dialogue-driven jokes, making it accessible to international audiences. Musical segments featuring choreographed performances added another layer of entertainment, blending comedy with variety show tradition. While widely popular, this style also drew criticism from some observers who felt that certain recurring themes, particularly those involving gender dynamics, reflected outdated comedic norms. Famous chase sequences and production techniques. One of the most iconic elements of the show was its elaborate chase sequences. These scenes typically involved Hill being pursued by groups of characters through parks, streets, and stage sets. The sequences were filmed using a technique that altered frame speed, making movements appear exaggerated and fast-paced when played back. This created a heightened sense of chaos and visual comedy. The chases became a signature closing feature of many episodes, combining physical humor, timing, and ensemble performance. Over time, they became one of the most recognizable aspects of the show's identity and contributed heavily to its global appeal. Changing cultural attitudes. By the late 1980s, public attitudes toward television comedy had begun to shift significantly. Humor that had once been considered harmless or playful was increasingly being re-examined through changing social standards. Audiences and critics began to question portrayals that relied heavily on stereotypes or suggestive imagery. This cultural shift placed older styles of sketch comedy under scrutiny. While the show remained popular with many viewers, it also faced growing criticism for elements seen as outdated. These evolving expectations created tension between traditional comedic formats and emerging ideas about representation and sensitivity in entertainment. The controversial moment and backlash. A particular sketch aired in the later years of the program became a focal point for criticism. The scene involved a parody setting where female characters were presented in a way that some viewers interpreted as objectifying. Although intended as exaggerated comedy within the show's established style, it sparked debate about its appropriateness. Critics argued that it reflected outdated attitudes, while supporters viewed it as harmless satire consistent with the show's long-standing format. The controversy intensified public discussion and placed the program under increased media scrutiny, marking a significant turning point in how the series was perceived. Decline and end of the show. As criticism grew and television trends evolved, the show began to lose its place in mainstream programming. Broadcasters became more cautious about content that might be considered controversial, and the format that had once been revolutionary started to feel less aligned with contemporary tastes. Although still watched by loyal audiences, the program was eventually discontinued in the late 1980s. Its cancellation marked the end of an era in sketch comedy television. While no single factor alone ended the show, the combination of shifting cultural values and increased scrutiny played a major role in its conclusion. Conclusion. The legacy of Benny Hill remains complex, combining immense popularity with ongoing debate about its content and style. At its peak, the show was a global entertainment phenomenon that showcased physical comedy at its most energetic and exaggerated. However, it also became a reflection of changing cultural standards, as humor once widely accepted came under new evaluation. The controversial moments associated with its later years symbolized this transition in public taste. Today, the show is remembered both for its influence on television comedy and as an example of how entertainment evolves alongside societal expectations.